Hello, everybody. I'm back today to talk about prayer and how vital it is, how important it is from a biblical perspective. God says that we ought to be praying all manner of prayer and to be always be praying. That's what the word says. And let's face it, we live in a dark world. These are dark times. But I specifically am asking you to pray for the people in the hotel, the population that I've been talking about that are living in hotels, in this hotel, battling cancer, and they're here for treatment from Moffitt. You know, it just amazes me how many people are actually coming out. Again, last night I was at the front desk and there were about 3 or 4 different couples that checked in, and each one of them said they would here to go to Moffitt and at different times. Now, Moffitt pays for them to come. I guess it's part of whatever they're going through their treatment plan, and they pay for them to stay in a hotel. And but the amazing part is I look, I read body language. After being a senior pastor for 20 years, reading body language is kind of my thing. I'm still an overseer. I'm just in a different position in the church. I'm an apostle now, and I've been serving God for over 30 years. But here, when these people come in, I they're friendly enough. I heard a man say that he was going to be here 21 days. When he was checking in last night, he was given his card for incidentals. He said, yeah, I'm going to be here 21 days. I have to go to Moffitt, and hopefully it's not longer. Some people come here and they come and it's just a week and for their treatment, but whatever happens to them or whatever they find, they have to stay longer. I see people come in here with smiles, with hope, and feeling that, you know what, it's going to be all right. But as the treatment goes on, and as I go downstairs every day, and as I spend that time downstairs in the breakfast area, and as my husband, who's talking, knows almost everybody who comes there, because he sits down there and he talks to them, and people open up about what they're going through and what kind of cancer they get and stem cell therapy and all of that. But some people, the look on their face changes as they go through treatment. It just snatches the life out of them. People are sick, they don't feel good, they're sleeping. And then there are those who, whatever the doctor tells them, and sometimes they share it because we talk with them, it's like, well, go and get your affairs, go home and get your affairs in order. And, that's the time when I want to, and even before then, I'm giving them, I'm encouraging them in Christ and telling them, the doctor told you one thing, but God is a healer. And God made the doctor. How do I know this? He healed me from cancer. No medicine, no chemo, no radiation. Just because when he told me, and he was the reason why I was able to know this from him is because I had started a relationship. I had built an intimate relationship with him through prayer and doing what he asked of me to do, which, by the way, is never hard. It's God enables you to do what he calls you to do. The Bible said, whom he calls, he equips. So when he calls you to do something, you're equipped. Now, whether you want to do it or not is another story. So, I know that God is a healer. I know that if he tells you you healed, you heal. Now, you may have physical symptoms. You may have, a lot of fear. You have mental symptoms, I like to call that. But that will pass if you will trust God. I was telling a lady today, we take the faith, which is a gift that God gave us. If we take that faith and put it in God, you will move mountains. If we, I do. God has used me to do some things that no doubt that I would have never been able to do. In fact, I would have never even known about them. There were people who walked into my life who were sick. There was a girl who, her name is Bruni. I'm writing a movie. She's in the movie, so I'm gonna share a little bit about her. She walked into my office in Manhattan. I had a TV show in Manhattan for 4 years. And the moment she called me first, and she said, I saw you on TV, and I was wondering if I could have an appointment with you. And I told her, yeah. I said, when are you available? And she said, anytime. And I said, she asked me when was I available, and I told her, I have some time now. Where are you? She said, I'm in the Bronx. She said, I can be there in 20 minutes. I said, no problem. When she walked through the door, I immediately saw in the spirit, inside of her belly, she had a tumor the size of a man's fist. And I said to her, before she could say anything, I said, do you know that you have a tumor in your belly the size of a man's fist? She smiled. And she said, that's why I'm here. She said, she pulled up her shirt, and she had all of these cuts from other surgeries that she had. This tumor kept growing back. She said, I've had a number of surgeries. I'm so tired of this. She said, can you help me? I don't want to have another surgery. I said, this is what I want you to do. By the time she communicated that to me, she had already had a seat. I told her, stand up, walk close to my desk, walk up to the desk. She walked up. I said, now let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay my hand on you, and I'm going to pray the prayer of faith. I laid my hand. That's what the word says. If any is sick, let him call the elders. That's what the Bible said. And the prayer of faith shall save them. That's what it says. I laid my hand on her bare belly, and I prayed my prayer to God. I talked to my Father, our Father. And when it was finished, I said, did you feel anything? She said, intense heat. Well, I said, well, now, I'm sorry, I skipped something. Before I prayed, I said, Bernie, I want you to make me a promise that when God heals you, notice I didn't say if, I said when, that you will tell everybody that he did it. That way his name gets the glory. You won't give the glory to doctors. You won't give the glory to anyone else but to him. She said, I will. And that's when I prayed. So when it was over, she said, well, next week I go to the doctor because they had already scheduled, my surgery. So I'll let you know what happens. So as she was getting ready to go to the door, I said, Bruni, now that God has healed you, establish a relationship with him. Give your life to God. She smiled. She was a young Hispanic girl. She walked out the room. About a week later, Bruni called me, told me she had been to the doctor because they wanted to take one last image of the tumor to see if there was any growth or anything before they did this surgery. And when they took the, I think it was an MRI, she said when they came back into the room, they asked her, what did she do? And she said, what do you mean? She said, the tumor is gone. She said she began to tell them about me and they wanted to meet me, but I said no. She also told, she was Catholic, she also told her priest about me and he wanted to meet me. I said no. I don't want them to meet me. I want them to meet the God that saved you from another surgery, that delivered you, that healed you from this tumor. Okay. Notice I said I prayed, right? This is why I'm telling you, prayer is an awesome tool. It's the most powerful. When you talk to God from your heart and you do what he says to do, one step at a time. God is a very merciful, loving, caring God. He loves everybody. And he doesn't want to lose one, the Bible says. He don't want nobody to go to hell. He wants all of us to come into his loving arms. He had a plan for all of he has a plan for all of our lives. He put gifts and talents and abilities in us. Listen, I know those of you who are watching this, I know you have wonderful things about you. You're somebody's wife. You may be a great wife, a great mother. You may be a good cook like myself. You may be a great friend, or you may be sad, depressed, angry, sick. I was a sickly person, always sick. Had chronic asthma, chronic bad eczema. God he healed me from asthma during COVID. You know he already healed me from cancer. Now, somebody asked me in the last video for a link to my book. I'm going to put that link. It's on Amazon, one of the books that I wrote, How I Beat Cancer. That's the name of it. It's written by me, Diane. That's my maiden name, Diana, D-I-A-N-A, Hardy, H-A-R-D-Y. In case you're interested in reading it, you want to know the steps that I took when I was diagnosed with cancer. Bruni was healed from it. She was healed. And, you know, let me just show you the grace of God. Bruni had no intention on having a relationship, really going to the next level with God. And that's what he was looking for. I don't know what Bruni was doing in her life, though, because some months later, I don't know, 6 months, a year later, Bruni had another tumor. And she said, the tumor's back, or I got another tumor, she said, actually. Could you help me? And I said, no. I said, did you do what I asked? Did you tell people that God did this? Did you start to serve and learn about God? She said, no. There's nothing that I can do. I'll pray for you. That's what I do. That's what we're supposed to do, is pray for one another. We're supposed to love one another. You may not understand me, and I may not understand you. That's not my job to understand you. My job is to know that you are like me. We're human beings, and we have the same struggles. We have the same desires and the same needs. And we all need God. We need him. If you want to really walk in divine purpose, if you want to do miracles and do great things in your life, God is the way. Especially for those who are struggling right now and you have not been able to accomplish great things. And you're sitting at home thinking, I could do something to help somebody. I'd like to give to a charity. And a lot of people do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But prayer, if you don't have money to give to a charity, and maybe you can't, maybe you're disabled or whatever the case is, you can pray. You can ask God to heal people. You can ask God to help these people in this hotel who are battling cancer. Because as I told you, some people walk in there with a smile, but they don't always walk out with it. In between, they've gotten sick. They don't know what they're going to experience. And they come up against things that I guess they never would have thought that they would have to face. Some of them go here with bad news that they're going to die. And they receive what the doctor says. They believe him. I'm going to tell you something. You know, if you can turn it around, even right now. And for those of you who somebody may have cancer that's listening to me right now, you know, shoulder cancer. I've never heard of that. But that's what the Lord just dropped in my spirit, shoulder cancer. Now I'm going to tell you something. If you give this to God and keep giving it to God and keep giving it to God. I heard somebody say one time, you need to only pray one time. You don't need to pray more than once. God heard you. Yeah, he heard you. But do you remember the story when Jesus said that a man had a friend come visit and he didn't have anything to give the friend? So he went to his neighbor and he was knocking on his neighbor's door going, could you loan me some bread or something like that? He needed something to be able to feed his friend. And his neighbor wouldn't open the door. His neighbor was like, me and my children are already in bed. You know, he didn't want to open the door. But he kept knocking on his neighbor's door. To eventually the neighbor opened the door and gave him what he wanted. He told us that's how we need to do God. That's what I'm telling you. There is nothing that you can't get done. You're sick in your body, you can be healed. Listen, you know what? I say this all the time. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. I'm asking you to give God, to keep going and knocking on his door, and to put your faith, which means also put your trust in him. If you're sick and you're tired of taking medicine, you're tired of, or you've been given, bad news, the doctor says you're going to die or you're not going to you're going to take medicine for the rest of your life. Listen, I've heard all of that. And I'm here 61 in divine health. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have diabetes. I don't have asthma no more. And I had it all my life, just about till 2020. From a child, my mother had to rush to the hospital with me all the time. I was allergic to everything. Chronic asthma. I had to take asthma. I had to take an inhaler every day. A nebulizer. My husband can tell you, my team can tell you. But when 2004 came and the doctor told me, you got COVID and you got double pneumonia. That's what he told me. I was in the hospital 4 days. He said, you hear that crackling noise? That's the way your lungs are going to be for the rest of your life. You're going to need oxygen. And I laugh because I know I'm the one who was healed from cancer. So you know what? When he left, I said to God, God, I need new lungs. Did you hear what he said, the doctor? Now you're the great physician. I don't really need a doctor. I need you. I went to sleep, and in my sleep, I saw a man, a white man, walk up. The sun was shining bright, and he walked up in front of the sun as though he stepped up on the earth. And he had under his arm, it looked like it was a gold elixir. And it looked like that trophy they give that you win in football. I can't say the name of it, and I don't want to butcher it. But you know the one that they win at the Super Bowl? It was the shape of that. And in there was this gold elixir, like gold metallic fluid, and it was moving. And he walked toward me. White man, dark hair, pants on, looked like a regular guy in the street. In fact, that's why a lot of angels look that way in the street, by the way. I'll tell you one day of the 3 angels that I encountered. One day they came to my house in New York City. But as he walked toward me, when he got close to me, all of a sudden I woke up. I had asked God for new lungs. That's exactly what I got that day. Because that's when my asthma disappeared. And there was no more crackling. Now, the doctor sent me home. In fact, no doctor could believe that I had gotten better in 4 days. They sent me home with some oxygen. And I got to tell you, I liked that oxygen. I liked it a little bit. So I kept it. It's a little oxygen. You know, you be under your nose and you go home with the tank. But I'm telling you, God had healed me. I haven't had an asthma attack. Nor do I don't buy pumps. I don't know where my nebulizers, nothing. 4 years now. This can happen for you. You need to learn how to talk to God. You need to learn how to start a relationship to him. But meanwhile, I ask you to please pray for these people, because that's why I lived to be here, to be in this hotel, to minister to people, to give them I told you we're giving these sheets, 100% viscose luxury bamboo. If you know anything about it, it's the top of the line. Beautiful. There's so many people we've given it to. We've almost given out 100 sheet sets now. We're down to probably 4 or 5 left. If you know somebody, by the way, please reach out. And please comment if you want to know something. Because I really want to help you. I want to help you. This is what God wants me to do. This is why I'm sitting here. And at the end of this week, we're moving out of the hotel. And then I'll let you know what the next assignment is. And if you want to help, how you can help. God bless you. Thank you so much. Please give me a thumbs up on this video. Please share it. Please think to yourself, how much growth you could have. I don't care how old you are. You're 78, 80 years old. You're here, it means God has need for you. If you're up there, if you are above ground, the Lord desires you to be here. The Bible said you were made for his good pleasure. You're a pleasing thing. I don't care what nobody told you. Whether it's your husband, your mother, whatever, because I've been told a lot of things. But when I found out that God loved me, it was like I was swept off my feet by him. And every day I'm so grateful. Thank you. Love you. Till next time. Bye.